there's a scene in The Matrix where, the film, where Neo wakes up in that artificial womb in the pod, and as he's waking up, the umbilical cords that tap into his spine, they pop out, boom, 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 and it reminds me of biblical allegory and the 7 seals of Revelation, which is the chakras, and they're like implants. I'm trying to pick words. This I'm trying to paint a picture for you using words. Dabarim, it's Hebrew. It means word pictures, because a picture paints 1,000 words. So your chakras are like implants, and like most of humanity, they live in the lower chakras, but you want to raise that energy. Now, it's all about learning your body and learning your kingdom, and to get the chakras moving, you have to overcome whatever function or whatever desires they control. So, like, if you have lots of, if you're angry and lots of hate and frustration and oh man, I lived like that for years. A fucking nightmare. Anyway, good morning, Danny. Fuck off and die. Right. But obviously, as you wake up, you become more conscious, and then you start to disconnect from these things. But before you can disconnect from them, you've got to be really in them. It's like there's other ones as well. Sexuality, it's a very powerful drive, and you've got to work through it. Another one, like when I used to drink alcohol, and it was an open rebellion. I knew it was bad for me. I knew it, and I knew I had to stop drinking, and I tried many times. I used to see a bottle of whiskey in the supermarket. Fuck it! And in Germany, they don't sell litre bottles. They only sell 3/4 of a litre. So I'd get one bottle. I'd be walking towards the cashier. One bottle ain't gonna do it. Go back and get another one. Much to my wife at the time, much to her dismay, and she would look at me. But I was rebelling, man. And Jesus said, "Your words to the effect of this is a rebellious generation." And I was rebelling against something that I didn't know or didn't understand, and I was fighting myself. And it's only when you realise that you're fighting yourself that you start to overcome these things. So let consciousness do the work. As you become more conscious of your perceived failings or weaknesses, then you come to accept them. And it's in that moment of acceptance that you can let go, that you no longer judge yourself. You just accept it, and when you've accepted something, you don't need to do it anymore. You don't need it anymore. And there's many, many things. Smoking, lethargy, gluttony. And these are all things that we all fight. And it's all part of the stuff that we've learned, and the chakras are spinning at that low level, if they're spinning at all, and the energy's blocked up in there. And it's that acceptance and that rebellion that gets it out. So, God called the Israelites, he called them a peculiar people, stiff-necked. Now obviously God kind of likes them because they're peculiar. And they're stiff-necked. Stiff-necked is stubborn. You don't want to bow down. You can't be arsed reading that shit. You're upright and you're fighting everything. You've got this open rebellion. It's like somebody will say, oh yeah, well, let's go and do this, and you'll say, I don't want to. Yeah, but you've always done that. Yeah, but I'm not doing it anymore. And you don't know where this fieriness comes from, and it kind of surprises yourself.
In a quarter of a mile, turn left onto Marlbank Road, A4104.
Silence. Anyway, and that's part of the rebellion. And Jesus said, I will send them the only sign that those people are looking for a sign, and the only sign they will be given is the sign of Jonah.
Turn left onto Marlbank Road, A4104.
Thank you, my dear. And the sign of Jonah is when, for me, my personal experience of the sign of Jonah was...
Continue on Marlbank Road for 3/4 of a mile.
Was being on me back for 3 days and 3 nights. Sweating. Every pore in my body was just sweat. And basically what had happened, because I'd stopped drinking, I'd stopped eating dead flesh, and I was mindful of what I was eating, and I was going within a lot. I didn't even call it meditation then. I was just like turning inwards. And your body gets to a certain point where it can suddenly start shifting all the shite, the toxins through the lymphatic system. And as that is happening, as the lymphatic system cleans, that's your sewage system in the body. Once it gets to a certain point, like it's like a critical mass, and then it just goes fucking mad, and the body's just fired up. It's getting rid of all the shit. But during that time, you will feel like fucking death. And that's the sign of Jonah, swallowed by the fish. The fish is symbolic of higher consciousness. And
in a quarter of a mile, turn right onto Upper Welland Road. For
3 days and 3 nights. And it was truly fucking awful. But when it was over and I came out of it, by fuck, I felt alive. I felt like everything zinged.
Take the next right onto Upper Welland Road.
I felt really alive. You know, it was like I'd look at a tree and it's like I'd never seen it before. I'd smell cut
Continue
grass.
on Upper Welland Road for 1 mile.
Will you shut the fuck up? But it's like, you know, like the smell of cut grass, or all those things that you just took for granted. Suddenly it's more vivid, and that lessens over time. But you appreciate life more, even all the the good things and the bad things, the trials, the tests, the tribulations, and there's lots of that, you know. And you know, some of it's going to make you pretty miserable, and you're going to be tearful and upset and angry, but accept it, love it, because it's still life. You're still experiencing the gift of life, you know, to experience those things. And so don't be just so judgmental of it. And the quicker you can accept these things, the quicker you can move on. You know, these are my experiences. You know, we're all individuals, but we all live in the same house, pretty much, and we've all treated our house differently. And we might have inherited different belief systems. We've definitely inherited different DNA, and that can all be corrected if the consciousness is allowed to do the work. Do not do the work of the malak, it says in the Torah. The Torah is instructions for living. That's what Torah means. And the malak means, it's Hebrew, it means angel.
In a quarter of a mile, turn right onto Wells Road, A449.
The correct, in modern parlance, an angel is a messenger. Okay, so you're receiving from consciousness, higher consciousness. So it's guiding you. Our Father, you are in heaven. Consciousness. In just a moment.
Turn right onto Wells Road, A449.
Dodgy little road right in the countryside in the sticks, and I can't see around that corner.
Continue on A449 for 3 miles.
If you wonder where I'm going to a garage to get some gaskets for my exhaust, because it's driving me nuts. Anyway, consciousness will guide you. I would encourage you to just go over what they call the Lord's Prayer. There is no Lord. If you've got a Lord, you're being ruled over. You know, you don't want to be ruled over. You want to be instructed. You know, being ruled over. Do this now. Love me or I'll kill you. What the fuck is that? That's Satan, man. Whereas it should be come to me and I will look after you. So how do you come to him? Well, you meditate. Okay. So, but read the so-called Lord's Prayer, and I'll go through that probably this evening or maybe tomorrow, and I'll go through that because I want to highlight a few things that people might not have considered, and I want to give you a different perspective. So as an individual, you can look at it and go, fuck me, why didn't I realise that? Because as children, we all learnt that. In England, they used to do the Lord's Prayer in school assembly, and it's pretty much, well, you know, it's worldwide. But I'll go through that. Anyway, I just wanted to share that with you. So with regards to your trials and tribulations, there's going to be some, but it's part of it. You know, this is about getting away from the whore of Babylon, and Babylon is confusion. And first of all, you've got to clear the confusion within before you then start to see how confused the human race is, and then you'll understand why everything is so fucked up. And then of course you'll be able to forgive them because they simply know not what they do. They don't know what they're doing. They're lost. And it's you know, when you meditate, you're pleading a case for the orphans with the Father. So every individual that pops up on that radar is pleading a case for the orphans. That's how important this is, because you need that. We need that. I don't know how to put this. I'll put it simply then. We need that intervention to get away from this fucking satanic, fucked up world that has been developed around us by the fucking morons that run it. They have got to go. Like yesterday. I'm fucking done with their shit. But I can't do it because when you look at the high and mighty, we're like grasshoppers compared to them. So you petition the Father to do it, and it will happen. It will happen. There's no stopping this. It's already done. But we, you know, in higher realms of consciousness, but that higher needs to come down to lower. That's what it means to bring heaven on earth. So every time you meditate, every time you pop up on that radar, as a metaphor, you are, you know, you're petitioning the Father. You're petitioning the universe, the unified fields. Call it whatever you want. And it's that petition that he hears his children, symbolically speaking, and he will come in for his children at their behest to sort this clusterfuck out. Yes, I know my language is a bit rich. But I'm appealing to the man and lady in the street. I'm not highfalutin. I'm not making fine phylacteries, worthless fucking speeches. I'm saying it how it really is, so people can understand it and respond. Okay? And merge. I'll talk more about that in the future. Anyway, folks, take care. Bye now.